Number four is the name of Lut, Lut alayhi salam. Our prophet and messenger Lut alayhi salam, the purified. Very similar stories again, minus the incestual relationship. Okay, and some other things. Yeah. So then the word Lut in Hebrew, it means that one of the etymological meanings of Lut means to wrap something up, or to cover it, or to enshroud it, or to entwine it. That's what Lut means. And again, there is no association in the book of Genesis or anywhere else with the name of Lut and the actual meaning of the Prophet Lut alayhi salam. I've checked and there is none. In fact, there's a book called Pragmatics, Discourse and Society, Volume 1. It's a book on anthropology and theology. It says that the name Lut is unmotivated in the Old Testament, meaning it has no relationship to his actual mission or anything that happened to him, because they recognize that some of these names God names people because of certain things that happen to them. But they say that the name Lut is unmotivated in the scriptures. There's really, it just appears, but it is motivated in the Quran. It is motivated in the Quran in the way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chooses to illustrate and to describe the reaction of Lut alayhi salam in the Quran when the angels come to him. So this is found in Surah Al-Ankabut. Surah Al-Ankabut, ayah 33. And it says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ولما أن جاءت رسلنا لوطا سيء بهم وضاق بهم ذرعا وقالوا لا تخف ولا تحزن إنا منجوك وأهلك إلا امرأتك كانت من الغابرين. And when the messengers came upon Lut, it grieved him, and the Arabic idiom there is ضاق بهم ذرعا, and his hands became constrained around him. And his hands became constrained around him. This is an idiom that means that he was shocked and he hid himself. He hid himself because his area, it was Sodom and Gomorrah, and when he saw these beautiful people, he thought that they might have meant him harm, and they said, "Don't be afraid." So he says, when the angels came to Lut, سِيءَ بِهِمْ وَضَاقَ بِهِمْ ضَرْعًا, that he tightened his arms around his body and constrained himself. So there, a link between the name of Lut alayhi salam and what happened to him. This would be, in my opinion, impossible.
Subhanallah.
For any Bedouin
That's
Arab.
wild, man.
Any Bedouin Arab would not be able to do that. So, and the phrase ضاق بهم ضرعا is used twice in the Quran, only in relationship to Lut alayhi salam. So only 2 times it's used. So there, that's number 4, I think, number 4.
Yeah.
Somebody wants me to repeat it.
Repeat this one. Yeah, go. Akhi Yusuf is inshallah asking you to repeat it. You go ahead if you want to repeat it as well.
Sure. So I mentioned that in the Hebrew scriptures, in the Old Testament, the name for Lut alayhi salam is not given any type of importance or any type of link with his mission. There's nothing in the narrative that links his name with the meaning of his name together. I mentioned the book Pragmatics, Discourse and Society, Volume 1, that says that his name was unmotivated. Basically, there's nothing in the text that links his name with something that he did. Like Abraham would be father of the nations. All of these things are in the Quran as well. I didn't mention them because they can be easy. They can be easy to deduce, especially when God says, "I have changed your name to such and such," and then the reason is given there anyway, so it's not really impressive. But with Lut alayhi salam, his name means to constrain himself, or to hide, or to enshroud, or to tighten. And here in Surah Al-Ankabut, verse 33, it says, وَلَمَّا أَنْ جَاءَتْ رُسُلُنَا لُوطًا سِيءَ بِهِمْ وَضَاقَ بِهِمْ ذَرْعًا. When our messengers came to Lut, that his name is Lut, alayhi salam, he constrained his arms around himself. He covered himself with his arms. And so therefore, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is showing familiarity and, of course, complete knowledge of the name of Lut alayhi salam, and he instills in the narrative something that includes the meaning of his name, which is magnificent. This is not even something that's found in the Old Testament. I hope that's clear.